So we'll get cracking here. So look at, as Shane says, welcome to you all here, and we've a lot of new and maybe existing coaches that I can see from the groups. So I suppose what we want to do here is to kind of make it as easy as possible for those, particularly with the regional blitzes, you know, to kind of go through what all is involved if you are hosting a blitz or if you are traveling to a blitz. Now, you would have, maybe your coaching officer or yourself would have sent me in the list of teams that your club is going to enter in. And I might just share the screen here now shortly. Now, with all of the stuff that we'll go through tonight, I will email all of this out to you tomorrow anyhow, that you will have it there, right? So if I'm just going to try and get, I'm going to share my screen here now, and we'll just maybe go through the list of teams that we have here, okay? So just bear with me now for a wee second. Just bear with me here. What was here? Oh yeah, sorry. No, I'll tell you what. We'll just go on to this one here, onto the master calendar, and I'll just, I suppose we'll go through. If everybody can see that there, I'll just go through exactly. Right. Can you see that, Shane? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you know then for what the games program is now, you know, at the moment there, you can see at the top there we have the pre-season Sundays. Okay. So we've our last one now this Sunday. So that has been very good, very worthwhile there. We've had 30 teams there from your under 10s from 10 to 11, and then another 30 under 8 teams there from 11 until 12. So like I say, that's wrapping up this Sunday. So then straight then on the hoof the following week, then we'll be back into action with the under 8s and under 10s again. You'll see them, the regional blitz, the round one then for them is starting on the 3rd of April, the 3rd and the 4th. So you can see there the under 8s and the under 10s go from Sunday. They will alternate on Sundays and Mondays. Okay, and then the following week you'll have the under 7s and the under 9s. So the under 7s going on the Sunday morning and the under 9s going on the Monday evening. Okay, so you'll see there, if you take, for example, there's the under 7s, there's 10 regional blitzes. Now, what we mean by a regional blitz is, if you take, for example, you may have, say, Kilkerley, that they would be a regional venue, and you would have 6 teams generally going to that venue. So you'd have 3 pitches set up, and you would accommodate all those games, you know, being played. And I know in the past I would have sent out, you know, an example of fixtures, you know the way you'd have your A versus B, C versus D, E versus F, that type of thing, and how you can change that up. But it's fairly straightforward enough. And I suppose just to be saying as well, like, if you are in a group of 6, it doesn't mean you have to play the 5 other teams in the group. You only play your 3 matches, okay? So if you're in a group of 6 and there may be, you know, 5 different teams, maybe one club has two teams, you're only setting out the fixtures for 3 games. You know, we don't want the situation where one of the regional blitzes, you know, is starting at 11 o'clock and you're not getting away until 1 o'clock or anything like that. The whole thing is about playing three games. And we piloted something there towards the end of last year with the winter blitzes, where we didn't do half time. We just played a kind of, you know, 10-15 minutes straight games, and they kind of do seem to work. And we're doing it as well in DKIT in the morning. And you know, we might get agreement on that this evening to go ahead with that. it kind of just, particularly for the younger groups, so the under 7s and the under 8s, you know, getting into half time and going back out, you know, they feel like it's 6 little mini matches. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if we could maybe seek there to maybe look at just doing kind of straight games where you just play maybe 3 15-minute games or whatever, and it just means it keeps everybody on board. You're just maybe, you know, you're playing games for an hour. If clubs and parents are maybe traveling for maybe 20 minutes, you know, in the morning, you don't want the blitz dragging on for 2 hours or whatever. So we aim to keep it all within kind of 1 hour, 1 hour 10 minutes or so. And I'd be advising, you know, if you're, you know, when you're coordinating the blitz, that you would, you know, kind of like the way it's done up in the all county blitzes in Dover and that, and out in DKIT, you know, purchase an air horn there from the club, and have all your games starting and finishing at the one time, because it just leaves, you know, your organization a hell of a lot easier. So you will see there with the blitzes, with the all county blitzes in Dover, okay. Now, as you can imagine, pitches are chock-a-block at the minute. I'm sure your own club is experiencing a lot of volume and traffic and requests to kind of use it, and Dover is no different, okay. Now, we've gone with 2 all county blitzes this year for each age group. Now, the slight difference with the under 7s and the under 8s is that they're going to have to be divided. There's such big numbers. I'm sure you've all, any of you that have been there, will have experienced.
Marie, your screen's just gone back to your email there. If you want to just share again the okay. Schedule, just dates.
Okay, I'll do that now. Okay, I'll share that now. How's that? Is that coming up?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so you'll see there, yeah, like the all count for the under 7s and the under 8s. As I say, they're very large volumes come up to Dover. We need every pitch available. You know, any of us that was there last year, you know, we were using the Astro for parking. So on the grounds of health and safety and all that type of stuff, we've had to divide, you know, kind of have one of the blitzes, let's say on a Tuesday evening, and then the second blitz on a Wednesday evening. So as the teams come in, and we'll give plenty of notice for this, that, you know, a proportion of teams will be playing the all county blitz on the Tuesday, and the second group will be played on the Wednesday. Now, it won't be done like on a north-south basis or anything like that. As you know, when you go to Dover, you know, you could be, if it was Cuchulainn Gales, could be playing against the Wolf Tones and things like that. You know, once it gets to Dover, there's no problem there. But it's just to kind of highlight that for the under 7s and the under 8s, that's why they're being subdivided that way. It's just so that we can cater for all the young kids in a safe manner, with parking, with pitches, with all of that stuff, and that's why it was agreed to kind of do it like that. You'll see there then the under 9s and the under 10s, they're having 2 all county blitzes, and we'll keep them all together, but it may need to be reviewed as it goes on, you know, that with the numbers. So that's your kind of regional blitzes, all county blitzes. The under 11s there, as you can see, they're down to have 11 rounds of games. And as you know, the under 11s play like, let's say, like the under 12s, where it's just a standalone fixture of 20 minutes per half. Now, the dates there are in conjunction with the under 12s. The under 12s are Friday nights as well. So working with the Cushton and Nogue there, the majority of our dates are alternating with the under 12s. Around June time, it's a little bit funny with the under 12 fixtures, and that I think they're coming towards the end of it, and with semi-finals and whatnot. Now, I think the under 12s, you'll see there, they might be out like on a Wednesday night, but the under 11s is always on a Friday, and it's every second week. Okay, so that's kind of where we stand there. Okay. Has anyone any questions on that? On the if or maybe look at you. Maybe if we want to leave all of that till the end, we can do the questions then. So if you want to maybe take a note, or even pop something up on the chat box, we could kind of do that either.
Sorry, Marie, could I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
So I was of the, I thought under 11s was blitzes again, but it's only one match, is it?
Yeah. The regional blitzes, and with the groups, of 4 or 6 teams, that only takes place. Your 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Under 11s is always just a standalone fixture.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for that, Marie. Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anything on that? No. Okay. Like I say, don't be afraid to kind of to pop anything up into the chat box and that while you're there. Okay. So I'm just going to try and get another thing up here. There's a few more guests that are coming in. No, I'm just trying to get. Okay. Now, can you see that there?
Yeah.
The Ogsport Lou teams, okay?
Yeah.
So this is the list of teams that we have received, or that I have received from the Microsoft forms, okay? So you'll see there with some amalgamations and whatnot. So there's all the teams there. Like I said, I will email this out to you tomorrow, so everyone that's on the call here can get a look, because like I say, it was probably your coaching officer that might have sent in this information. So you can have a look at that yourself. Okay. So if we go down to the very bottom here, you can see. Okay. You can see the number of teams there that we have in. So you'll see there with under 7s we've 59 teams, under 8s 59 teams, under 9s 55, under 10s 49, and then under 11s 35 teams. Okay. So just to remind, now there's a couple of teams, and I think they're all okay with it. There's a couple of under 11 clubs have entered 2 teams, and that's fine. I explained it to some of those clubs involved that that the way that will work is that, if you're at home, okay, both your teams are at home, but if you're away, well then, both teams could be going, one team could be going in one direction and one team could be going in another direction. So I just wanted to get that across to those clubs involved. But I did mention it to some of them, and they are happy enough to continue at that. I suppose with the under 11s, the under 11s is always a kind of not a tricky one, but there might always be, like in the past couple of years, we might have had issues with walkovers and mismatches and things like that. So we generally do maybe 1 or 2 rounds as a kind of a feeling ground to see where we're going, or how teams are getting on. Like I said, Ogsport is there, for under 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s. It doesn't mean that every club has to enter in, at that age group. Like back in the very beginning and the very origins of Ogsport Lou, it was identified that, you might have had your smaller clubs, like I'm seeing Animan and Rovers there, compared to maybe the likes of the Geraldines being a bigger club. And the reason why, it was why the age groups were going to 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s was that maybe, the likes of a smaller club might have had a good crop at under 7, but didn't really have them at 8, or they might had a 10, but didn't have them at 9. It was just to give them an option. It's not a target to kind of hit. We're not expecting every club to enter teams at each age group. It's what you'll know from your numbers. Now, obviously, it's fantastic to see so many clubs with teams entered into each age group. But don't be feeling that you're spreading yourself too thin, that, you know, you're out 7s and 8s, you know, every other week or whatever, and maybe you're a bit tight on numbers. Likewise, maybe 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, you know, and you're pulling from the same pool of players. You know, don't, like I say, this, it's not that every club has to enter into each age group. It's more about just facilitating clubs that might have teams at a particular age group. So don't feel that you know that you're under pressure to enter into every age group. Okay, so, and like I say, if you, when this goes out tomorrow, if you have a look at that and you look through your numbers, I know a lot of clubs are having registration evenings and whatnot coming up, and even just parents and helpers and coaches and whatnot. If there's a change that needs to be made, let me know kind of sooner rather than later, because I'll be putting all these, once I've all the teams here now, I'll be putting fixtures together and hope to have them out, because like we're starting Sunday week, so you know, this stuff is going to have to go out fairly sharpish. So ideally, you know, if you see any changes that need to be made, let me know kind of sooner rather than later. Okay, so anyone and to say about that, or Harry's on that one? No, nothing. Sorry, I'm just checking. Okay, so I'm going to try and get up now to go through the kind of playing rules, okay, that we have. Now, just bear with me. Okay. Is that Sharon there by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what I want to go to here now then is the actual is that there now, the full playing rules?
Yeah, that's in there.
Okay. So what we have here is the Go Games, the full playing rules. Right now, we can kind of skip through this quick enough, and you can have a full look of it. But this has kind of year in, year out, we've kind of gone through this, and this has been agreed upon, and you know, everyone seems kind of happy enough with that. As you see there, the under 7s and under 8s are 7-a-side. Okay, teams with maybe 10 or more players can make, you know, what we're just saying there, if you have a 7-a-side team, you know, don't be having then, you know, 5 or 6 on the sideline, or you know, 9. Don't be afraid to make two teams or things like that. It's all just about giving players plenty of games. So likewise there, the under 9s and under 10s is 9-a-side, and then the under 11s is 11-a-side. Okay, pitch dimensions there, you can see that smaller pitch, you know, 45 meters by 30 meters, you're under 7s and 8s. The under 9s and 10s is 65 by 40, and then you're a bit of a bigger pitch there, 90 meters by 40 to 50 meters, okay, for your under 11s. Zones, pitch, you're right, so 2 zones. We were happy enough with that with the under 7s and the under 8s, just 2 zones split across with the cones at the halfway line, just to kind of get them to stop rambling. The under 9s and under 10s seem to have gotten that, and particularly with the small sided games, you see there's not so much everybody chasing after the one ball. Now you'll see there we have duration 7 minutes per half, 8 minutes per half, and 20 minutes per half. So, you know, I'd be suggesting that maybe that's something we could give, you know, see, it's not, we could maybe let it go for the first while, but if it's something that might be agreeable to go, let's say, you know, maybe a 14 minute game for the under 7s, under 8s, you know, maybe 16-minute straight game for the under 9s, under 10s, and then we'll keep the under 11s at 20 minutes per half. So I don't know what is anyone's feelings on that, or anyone like to say anything on that one?
I'd be disinclined to lose the halftime, Mairead,
Okay.
because especially if you do happen to have one or two subs, and certainly from a Go Games perspective, they always encourage, even if you didn't have subs, making sure that players play in different positions and so on.
Yeah.
I find half time is always a good opportunity to do that.
To do
Even
that.
now what I'd also recommend, or from experience, is that coaches are aware that half time is for a minute and a half tops, kind of thing. It's not sort of 5 minutes hanging about on the sideline. It should be a quick turnaround and go again, rather than
in fairness, I think you're right. I think they have bought into that, and again, and maybe if it's a thing that like what I'm suggesting, if every team was to buy, of every there was to be an air horn at every place, it just moves the whole thing along. It's just to kind of stop the big team talks going on for 5 and 10 minutes and holding up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's grand up in Darver and DKIT when I do it, and everybody seems to know, but it's just for those that might be at the regional venues to, just to kind of keep it moving. And as I say, yeah, look, I agree with you where the halftime is good for coaches and subs and whatnot. So maybe, as I say, if we can encourage everybody to get an air horn and that, just to keep it moving. Okay. So then you see the goal posts there with the various sizes there that is required. 8 by 6 for the 7s and 8s, 15 by 7 and 15 by 7 then for the older cohort. There's the different size footballs. You'll see there that how the game commences. Right, we're happy enough with that, with a throw in at the halfway mark. So outfield play for the under 7s and 8s, full rules except 2-touch football, 1 hop, 1 solo. Correct hand passes encouraged. Pick up and crouch lift encouraged. Where teams are mixed, girls are encouraged to use the crouch lift when picking up the ball, but the referee's not going to penalise. Okay, there's nothing, and it was only, remember going through this again, we were just saying, look, if they wanted to do it, but it wasn't a thing that any of the girls would be penalised for not doing it. There would be no 45s to be awarded at this age group. Similar to the 9s and the 10s, full rules again, except, so it's 2-touch football, 1 hop, 1 solo. Players must fist or hand pass the ball. Correct pickup is required. And then again, same crack where the teams are mixed, the way you can do it then, just to encourage them to pick up. And if they don't, there's no problem. No 45s to be awarded. And then for the under 11s, so it's the full rules, except again, 2-touch football. Players must fist pass, hand pass the ball. Correct pickup here. It's all kind of the same there again. So again, particularly for those of us that's involved with the 7s and the 8s and maybe up to the under 9s, if you're refereeing the game, it's very much about coaching as well. It's not so, and that yourself. If you see a child running more than the 4 steps, you're encouraging them to pass or shoot or look up or that. So there's a bit of common sense involved in when you're refereeing too, that we kind of encourage them to use the skills appropriately in that. And anyone to mention about the rules there or anything? You happy enough with that?
Sorry, Mairead, is there a separate rule list for hurling?
For hurling, I will have to.
This seems very centered on football.
Yeah. Well, look, there is more. It is kind of more good because there is the more of the
I get that. Yeah.
blitzes. But yeah, I can get that circulated out tomorrow. The rules of hurling, which are it's pretty much. Look, I'm not saying it's pretty much the same, but they are kind of modified rules as well. Where you're kind of encouraging the small sided games. It's all up there. Would be when we go back up here with the pitch size, the dimensions, all of that is similar.
Okay.
It's just
it would be. It would,
as we get to the outfield play, I will have that for tomorrow.
Thanks,
the
Bridget.
hurling rules. Yeah, no
Can
problem.
we get a copy of this? Or can a link be put in the chat?
Sorry, say that again.
Can we get a copy of this? Can a link
Oh,
be put in
yeah,
the chat?
this will all be emailed out tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. So again, then frees all taken from the hand. For there the 7s and 8s. Opposing players, so really 8 meters away. Nearest player, so you know the makers takers nearly type of thing. You know, whoever kind of makes the free kind of takes it or whatever. And then the sideline ball, maybe the nearest person. Okay, so you can have a good look through that. It's fairly straightforward enough. And then we have the kind of points, what's awarded. Again, you're encouraging more points in that, point taken. So shoulder charge not permitted, you'll see that there. And then the give respect, get respect. So yeah, that was last year. It was kind of suspended. So, and even as well, we might just, we might just leave it out. We were, if I don't know how clubs feel about that at the minute, just with the shaking hands of that, we could just line up. And I know the last time they were doing maybe the elbow pumps or fist pumps or something like that, So then we have at the bottom here, the visiting and host club responsibilities. So visiting clubs must contact the host team to inform them if they are traveling to the Blitz and to confirm the number of teams that they have. And the host club is to contact the visiting teams if there are any changes. So look at, there is a lot there, okay? And what we did in the past, there was a night about it was actually around 2019. We were up in Dover, we had referees there, and there was a big, there was representations from pretty much every club, and we did go through this in detail. And what we came up with, because that can be quite a lot of stuff there, a lot of rules and regulations. We came up with this, the 5 golden rules, let's say, out of all the other stuff that we've just gone through, that if you're going from venue to venue, from one regional blitz on this Sunday to the next regional blitz 2 or 3 weeks down the road, that these kind of 5 golden rules would be the same, okay, wherever you kind of went. And these were the 5 rules that had been agreed upon. That for the unders and 7s and 8s, that we do 2 zones, right? Pitch split across with the cones across at the halfway. Okay, with under 9s and under 10s, 2 touch football, 1 hop, 1 solo. And again, with the under 11s, 2 touch football, 1 hop, 1 solo. And you'll see that there for the under 7s, as 7s and 8s as well. Then for the under 9s and under 10s, we really were encouraging the fist pass and the hand pass, no throwing of the ball, because we do want to get them performing the skills correctly. Again, with the under 11s, where teams are mixed, girls are encouraged to pick up the ball, but again, referee won't penalise them, but they are encouraged to kind of do it. Okay, the golden rule number 3 for the under 7s and under 8s, again, correct hand pass encouraged. You'll see there for the 9s and 10s, where the pickup involving girls playing. And then for the under 11s, the nearest player, okay, frees player who is fouled or the nearest takes the free, and then sidelines nearest player the ball, player nearest the ball when across the line takes the free. Then the golden rule number 4 for the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, no 45s to be awarded, but it is allowed in the under 11s. Player who last strikes the ball on the attacking team takes from the halfway line in line, as a normal 45. Referee chooses player nearest or the last struck to take the free. So look, you might need to use a bit of discretion on that one. Referee chooses. That might be up to the coach to kind of decide who takes it. Okay, and then again, just with the rule number 5, that we kind of line up to shake hands after the game, as you kind of would normally do, but we might just do the fist pump. Now, the only difference there for the under 11s is that we were hoping that the players would line up before the game. Okay, and the reason for that was was that there was a couple of occasions in the past where, as you know, when you're moving on from the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, the under 11s is a bit more physical. You know, it might get a bit more rougher. And there was a couple of situations where when teams were lining up after the game, there was a bit of argy-bargy going on and maybe a bit of a dig or whatever. So it was felt that it was better to do this before the game started. And it would also give, at this time, it would give the referee the opportunity to kind of, you know, speak to both sets, as you can see it there, speak to both sets of players and mentors about the rules and the contact on the pitch and the sidelines, such as no bad language, shouting, or deliberate and dangerous tackling by players. So rather than, you know, it being left to the end and maybe an incident happen, that if we get all the under 11 players in at the start to line up, whether they want a handshake or not, or just fist pump or whatever they want to do, but this be done prior to the game starting, and that the referee to address both teams. Okay, so what we had done there from that, and I'll bring you on now to a sample fixtures. It was agreed that these kind of 5 golden rules would be sent out with each fixture list. Okay, so I'll show you an example of a set of fixtures from last year. This would be under, you can see there, under 7s and under 9s. So you'll see kind of how the layout works. You have there, look at the under 7s, you had 11 venues with in between 5 and 6 teams at a venue. The under 9s, 10 venues with again in between 4, 5, and 6 attending. Okay, so it's a busy schedule. It's busy doing up fixtures, and look, at there's going to be cases where you will end up playing maybe a team again, maybe twice or 3 times, whatever, because if you see there, if you look there, for example, at the under 7s, pitch number 6, St. Mary's with 3 teams. Do you know what I mean? Like you're going to come across the Marys an odd time. You know what I mean? Like, so that does happen. But if there is a situation where you are maybe, you know, 3 or 4 weeks in a row and you're up against someone similar the whole time, let me know, or even let the host coordinator know. If you see you're in a group with them, and just say, look, can you just arrange the fixtures that we're not playing the Marys again or whatever like that. Okay, so just don't be afraid to keep all lines of communication open between the host club and myself and things like that, but primarily between visiting clubs and host clubs is very important. Okay, so you'll see there, this is sample kind of fixture list for the 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. So you have the 5 golden rules there for the 7s and 8s, kind of condensed there. Same for the 9s and the 10s. So that's just to, as I say, so that there's continuity at every venue that you're going to. Because again, as I said, this came about because in the past, like I say, you might go to the Kilkerley one week and it was abiding by the rules, and maybe go to a different club 2 weeks later and there was no rules, there was no nothing. Okay, so we want to kind of have continuity for not only players, but for coaches and those who are going to be coordinating it. So you'll see there then host and visiting club information there at the bottom. Teams in red bold are the host club. So if I'm just looking at their under 9s, venue 1, Cooley, they have 2 teams and they are the host club. So, but if for some reason the designated club, Cooley, is unable to host, well, then the team in blue becomes the host club, which would be Roach. But the original club must make arrangements. So it'll be up to Cooley to get in contact with Roach to say, here, look at our pitches out of bounds, or there's a game on it. Can you host it this week? Okay. So so then here, if Cooley can do it, if not, look at, you're just going to have to work down the lines. And another thing again, if let's say Monday the 12th of July doesn't suit, but maybe Tuesday the 13th does, you know, and it suits everybody else, well then go with that. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule that this has to be played on the Monday. But look, teams would probably have it penciled in that these blitzes do take place. But as I say, and you all know, it's going to be a very hectic year this year. So don't be afraid, you know, if you need to be flexible, that's totally understandable. Okay, so where there's a change of venue, it's the responsibility of the original host club to notify visiting teams and communicate effectively with all teams involved. Okay, so if everybody thinks they're heading to Cooley, it's those from Cooley that need to say, look at where it's on now in Roach, and you need to contact them. So Shane did mention about the contact list. Now, it's my understanding that the last I heard was that I think a lot of clubs are sending their details into Bob Doheny. So that information is being gathered. And like last year, you know, if it needs to be done, we had an Excel sheet done out, you know, with the clubs, and every under 7 mentor, under 8, under 9, under 10, under 11. So that was circulated. So don't be worrying about not having information. We hope to have that as soon as possible. Okay. So then again, the host club is to make contact with all other teams in their group to confirm attendance. This contact is made at least 3 days in advance of the blitz. Just to give everyone a bit of notice. And then if a team is unable to attend, it's their responsibility to notify the host club. And again, please try give 3 days notice. So look at the rule of thumb is, right, if look, I'm using Cooley as the example. If Cooley is the example, what, you know, Cooley might need to just pick up the phone or the text messages and find out who exactly is coming. In the past, we had it, well, you know, it should be the host club or the visiting club to let the host club know, courtesy calls and whatnot. And look at what we just felt was there was a breakdown of communication. The club might be like, oh no, we'll not be here. No, we'll not make it. And it was just, you know, there was a bit of annoyance, I suppose, caused if you were a host club and you thought another club was coming and they didn't ring me or let me know. For this one, you might as well just grab the bull by the horns. You'll see who's on the list. There's only about 2 or 3 other clubs that's going to be in the group with you. Pick up the phone, text them, ring them. Are you coming Sunday? How many teams do you have? Great, see you then. Or if not, let me know. So rather than getting into courtesy calls, and you know, and it would be nice if that's the way it'd work. But as I say, from experience and in the past, you're as well, if you're the host club, just make all the kind of contacts yourself. Okay, anyone on that? We're after firing through a lot of stuff there now.
Just to think to add in the hurling, Mairead, so obviously we know there's 4 or 5 clubs in the hurling. We've linked with Monaghan GA, so Monaghan, we're going to invite Monaghan clubs up to our all county hurling blitzes, and the same the opposite way. So they're going to give us dates for their all county. So lead clubs will be able to go down and play different teams in Monaghan, and the same with in Davo. So it's something to take note of for the hurlers.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. It's hard to gauge. It's hard to gauge. We'll know after West League what I like.
Someone has the mic on. We're hearing all the crack here.
I muted you there, everyone there, Mairead.
Yeah, sorry, that was me, Mairead. Sorry, bye.
Mairead, you're on mute there.
Okay, I think I'm okay now. Does anyone want to go back over anything? Or, like I say, everyone that's on this call, I will email it out, and I'll also email it out to all of the, you know, where the emails generally go, club chairperson, secretary, and the coaching officer. So again, I'm hoping, you know, we do a lot of our communication via WhatsApp. So let's say, for example, I'm in a group. My clubs are East Louth. So with my, you know, 6 clubs or whatever, you know, I would generally, you know, WhatsApp the information to those coaching officers for them to kind of get it out that way, rather than the way we work. We might not always be at a computer, and kind of WhatsApp seems to be the best kind of way to get information out quick and fast and whatnot. because maybe not all chairman or secretaries, you know, they might only look at their emails maybe every other day or whatever. It mightn't just be every day. So that's kind of will be the kind of method of communication. Let's say fixtures out. Do you know what I mean? Like, so get on to your coaching officer, make sure they have your contact details, that when all the kind of fixtures are going out, that you're getting them firsthand from your club. So that you, like, I always aim to get the fixtures out at least a week in advance, because I know that you know, that the pitches are busy. Now, I know in the past as well, if was asked, you know, could a couple of weeks fixtures be done out at a time? But look, I hope you will appreciate, you'll see there an example of one, that's just one round of fixtures. 11, like for under 7s, 11 venues, for under 9s, 10 venues. That's the same for under 8s, under 10s as well. It's unfortunately, with all the teams coming in, and you've seen the list of teams up on 60 teams for 7s, 8s, 9s, and 30 odd teams for under 11s. I can't just put all those into a computer and it randomly makes up all the fixtures. I have to sit and go through them manually myself. So I try to get, you know, maybe 1 or 2 rounds out in advance. Like I say, it would be it'll be next impossible to do out 4 or 5 weeks in advance. So look, at you just have to bear with me on that. As best as I can, I will get it out to you as quick as possible. Like I say, because I know there is pressure on pitches and whatnot. Has anyone any questions? Like I say, and I spoke to Shane about this before. We're doing this now kind of so long on myself that you kind of maybe skip over things that maybe somebody has a question about that I mightn't have addressed here. You know, so don't be afraid, or like I say, if you want to stick something up on the chat box or anything like that, don't be afraid to give a shout or ask a question. Nope. All happy enough.
Right, just a quick question there. Where you're struggling to field a team of numbers, there's no hard and fast rule in terms of minimum numbers on the pitch, is there?
Well, look at you see there yourself that, like, maybe, you know, a team you might have 5 players, maybe the other team would give you 2 players. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than not have the 5 playing, or, you know, if that was, you know, like, is that what you mean? Like, maybe you arrive on a Sunday morning and lo and behold, you thought you were going to have 9, but you're down to 5 or 6. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so it's kind of by mutual agreement with the other club, is it?
Yeah, like if they could, do you know what I mean? Like, if you say, look at here, we thought we were going to have a team, you know, if you have a few players, you know, stick bibs on, like, that's like generally with the go games, you know, the whole thing is about children playing, you know what I mean? We that's why we try not to keep scores. We don't get bogged down in any of that stuff. It's all about letting the kids play, letting them get play time. You know, so like I mean, as much as, you know, and it was mentioned a couple of times here earlier, you know, getting subs on, rolling them on and off. Like, I think it's important here for all the coaches that's on here and listening in, that this is very much about, you know, kids playing games, developing their skills. There is a player pathway out there that if any of your clubs need a workshop and get all of your coaches in, we can deliver a player pathway workshop that will go through, you know, what is appropriate, you know, skills and activities to be doing for that particular age group, whether it be 7 to 9, 10 to 11, 12 to 13. And particularly with the Ogsport age group, what we're looking at is that they get plenty of time to play, you know, we want to keep, you see there the number of teams, you know, which is fantastic here. Like, what was it, 59 under 7 teams, 59 under 8. You know, they are high, and we want to keep all those players playing and involved. And like, you know, sometimes we see the bigger picture and we're thinking of winning and all that. And like what Ogsport is about, and I think what we all should be thinking is the bigger picture is getting all these kids playing. Children have put in an absolutely horrendous past 2 years with COVID. Okay, and you know, it's well documented, you know, whether they have anxiety levels or have dropped out of sport, you know, not getting to play, upset. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if we could park the kind of winning and roaring and shouting at them, you know, let them be children, let them come up to the field and enjoy playing and that, you know, of course, while encouraging to do the skills and trying to get the best out of them. But, you know, we have to also bear in mind they are only children and what they have gone through. And do you know what I mean? Like, I think we should really be focusing on that, which is what Go Games is about, you know. Anything else to say or ask?
Just Mairead, I'm not sure, you might have mentioned it. Just a good idea if that all coaches wear a yellow bib or a different coloured bib, and that they stand out. So, say for example, if a club is going to a host venue, that you can see who's organised and see who the coaches are, and they might be able to put you in the right direction of where the games have been played, etc. So I think the yellow bibs, even if you're refereeing, that they stand out from the players as well. Obviously you're not going to have a referee's outfit, so it's just good that you stand out. And obviously there is give respect, get respect bibs, or just even a yellow bib, just you stand out. I think most clubs have them.
And I think just when you did mention referees, particularly for the under 11s, as it was brought up at a meeting before, you know, would there be referees for under 11 matches? But they're even struggling for referees at under 12 matches. There's so many games. So generally, kind of what happens is the kind of host club, unfortunately, is ended up refereeing the game, particularly, you know, for the under 11s. Now, if it's a case where two clubs know of a referee and you agree and you want to get you know, a qualified referee, by all means go ahead and do that, you know. But just again, with the under 11 being, there is no silverware for under 11, so that's why there is no referees. And again, you know, to kind of dispel that kind of myth about Ogsport being non-competitive, it's not that it's non-competitive. You know, all the children playing any game, everyone wants to be a winner. So there is competition, but there is no silverware. So it's the kind of why that element was removed was because if there's a big shiny cup to win, you know, coach might go a little bit doolally to try and win this cup at the expense of some of the other players. So, you know, just to re-emphasize the point about Ogsport, it's not that it's non-competitive. It is competitive, but there's just no silverware, and there is no recording of scores. But you know, like I say, it's just about player development and young players playing the game. Okay, that's probably it, Shane. Do you think?
Thanks very much, folks, for everyone for logging in, and thanks, Mairead, and just presenting. Obviously, all that will be sent out tomorrow, Mairead, and we'll include the hurling rules, regulations for the Go Games and that as well. Just like to wish everyone the best of luck and coaching. As Mairead said earlier, if anyone wants any help from coaching in games at all, feel free to give any of us a shout, or any of the GDAs, and we'll definitely get bodies out in the ground and give you a dig out with sessions and helping you. Just obviously somebody's new to the setup, probably coming out of nursery and going into under 7s, under 8s, and even the older groups. Feel free to pick up the phone, and we're here at the end of the phone to help you out whatever way we can. Okay, thanks very much, and I think Mairead will send that the recording out tomorrow as well in the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks
both.
very much, guys.
Thanks,
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.